Well, ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa to all of you in Pipeland. How are you doing, my dear friends? Pipe pals and gals, Holy Smoke and Pipe Andre here with you on this New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. It's a new holiday sensation. I've noticed that the last couple of years, especially about 2 years ago, I noticed one morning I woke up on New Year's Eve and I had a tremendous amount of energy and I was just feeling great. And I wish I could say wish I could say I felt that way every day I wake up. But I remember getting up, I think it was New Year's Eve 2018, was it, or is it 2019? Let's see, this is 2020. Yeah, so 2018, New Year's Eve, I woke up and I just, I had a good night's rest and I just had all this energy. I hadn't had energy like that in years, it seemed like. And I remember just having a lot of, projects that I needed to get done. And I said, you know what? I don't want to start the new year with all this stuff hanging over my head, to include taking down all the Christmas decorations. I kind of did it early that year because I just, I kind of had the sense that in 2019, I was going to be kind of moving on. Yeah. So I knew that the last 6 months in Chico were going to be kind of, for me, I was already kind of making plans to come up here. And, well, that's interesting. I've got something, I don't know if that's interesting. Maybe that's just a shadow. I'm going to have to check that out. Weird. Okay. I'm looking at my iPhone 12 and it's looking kind of strange. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so getting back to my story there about 2018, New Year's Eve, and just waking up with all this energy. And I just remember I think I got up at like 5:30, maybe even earlier, 4:30 maybe. I can't remember. I just remember that it was just amazing. So I was pretty excited. So today, this New Year's Eve, I wouldn't say I'm feeling 100% the way I was almost 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, whatever. But I'm feeling that sense of very similar, like, okay, there's stuff going on, things need to be done. A lot of positivity. I guess there was a lot of positiveness in the air the couple of years ago, and I just really channeled into that and just tapped into it, and I got to tell you, it was just amazing. So so today I woke up and I'm doing okay. I've had some reoccurrence with my back, which unfortunately it just comes and goes. The other day, about 3 weeks ago, I was sitting down in a chair and all of a sudden I felt something slip in my lower back, and I went, uh-oh. So it just kind of happened out of nowhere. But I'm happy to say that it seems to have passed. I'm no worse for wear. The lay housekeeping. This is a little Dunhill that I bought at the now defunct Tinderbox in Reno, and I'm smoking in it again a Tinderbox blend. I think it's tropical. Was it tropical mix? Or pina colada mix or something like that. That's right, the tropical mix that I've been looking for years. I just haven't been able to find it. Sad to say, places like John T's, the Briar Patch, and now Tinderbox seem to be, unfortunately, going the way of the buggy whips. Anyway, so here I am on Christmas, the octave of Christmas. Still in the octave of Christmas. We celebrate a season, not a day, dear friends. And I remember somebody gave me this wonderful little coffee tea mug, whatever, spode, or I guess that's what they call it, spode. Has a little place on top so you can put a biscuit up there, and or whatever, you know, maybe basically a little dish for biscuits, or maybe you put your tea bag on that. I don't know. But anyway, I've had that up there for a couple of years now, or at least a year and a half since I've been here, and I decided that I need to take it out of the box and just start using it. And my goal is to start using all the things that I have instead of just collecting more. I've been going through and kind of clearing things out, which is my kind of MO, but then I start using, or I buy other stuff. So trying to just use the stuff that I've got, and then later I'll try to maybe replenish. But I've got a lot of stuff. So anyway, here I am on New Year's Eve. It's about almost 4 o'clock, and I give you a little view of the outside. I give you a little introduction this time, a little bit of a different introduction from my normal Holy Smoke and Pie Padre channel introduction to my little more seasonal Christmassy introduction. And then you might notice some interesting tracks in the snow. Yes, just a few days ago, sitting here at this very table, and we had a visitor, which was Mr. Bear. This was a rather large bear. Now, I'm not saying it's a grizzly bear, but it was a large black bear and young bear, beautiful bear. And I have my brother up here and nieces, and it was just we were having a nice lunch, and all of a sudden my niece squeals and says, "There's a bear outside your door." And sure enough, there was. And so he was just kind of nosing around, just checking thing out. Was really calm. He was a real chill bear. He wasn't getting really agitated or anything. He was just kind of like looking around, and it kind of seems like maybe he'd been here before. I don't know. Maybe when he was a young cub years ago. I don't know. But anyway, he seemed to kind of be pretty familiar with the back door there. So I don't know if other Padres were feeding bears out here or not. You know, you really shouldn't. As much as I love bears, and people know me, they know I love bears, but realistically, you have to be, you can't be doing stuff like that. It's irresponsible, it's dangerous, and it's just not good for the bears or people. So as much as I'd love to feed bears from my back door, I ain't doing it, because it's just, you're inviting a lot of real trouble. It's not uncommon for my parishioners to tell me from time to time throughout the year that a bear will literally just break down their back door or even their front door and walk on in and start helping themselves. So, you know, it happens. These are metal doors here, so I'm kind of grateful for that. But even then, that's no guarantee that that's going to stop them. They could go through a window. Anyway, so long story short is that we're up here, and then winter is, I think, finally actually getting started now, as you can tell by the video. And we got more winter, stormy, snowy weather on the way. Tonight I actually parked my truck back in the garage. So anyway, so I'm here today to wish you all a belated, I'm wishing you a very Merry Christmas in the Christmas season here. Little Christmas tree there. But you know, because Tinderbox closed and the Briar Patch closed. I forgot one last thing. I'm drinking this out of this beautiful little Christmas mug. I'm drinking one of my absolute favorite Christmas beverages, and it is chocolate raspberry coffee. And my dear friend, same one who got this coffee mug for me, or tea mug, got some. I mean, I tell you what, it is quintessential. It is like, if you've ever studied a little bit of philosophy, you know that the universal forms that are supposedly like the prototype for everything else. You know, it's sort of like, you get if you're going to make some new thing, you have to have like a prototype, and then from that prototype, then they generate, patterns and copies of that. because it's the perfect one. It's the one, without, it's just, it's the, it's the fullness of the form. So everything emanates from that original. And so this chocolate raspberry, it's the quintessential. It is the original item. It's just perfect. And in fact, as I was brewing up this particular cup a few minutes ago, I was smelling the grounds, and they actually also, now some people might get turned off by this, but I think it's kind of cool. It actually, the aroma, the fragrance was kind of like a perfumed raspberry flavored chocolate cigar, which I love. In fact, we're going to talk about that in just a moment, dear Pipe Pals. So again, Christmas to me has always, again, a lot of you out there, to mention real quickly, the one and the only, Gary Gap, the gentleman scholar. I think this is what I've been waiting for. This is his rendition of Christmas cards. And they're usually quite whimsical, creative, entertaining, interesting. So I think this is this year's offering of Christmas cards. I hope I'm right. Oh, I am right. I am right. I am right. Oh my goodness. Now, some of his humor is lost on me, I'm afraid, because I'm not into current pop culture. Okay, so this is, yeah. Okay. Very good. This is from HI. This Christmas card is from HI. You probably have heard of this company. It's a very well-known company. Actually, it goes back probably several hundred years. It's a very old, I dare say, ancient company. HI, Humbug International. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Gary, good job. Have a Merry Christmas if you're able. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, we got the COVID mask there. He always makes them very contemporary. So, well done, Gary. Yeah, that's, wow. Okay. And I think this might be a Twilight Zone reference, I think. So, picture if you will. Okay, so thank you, Gentleman Scholar, for that great Christmas card. I think that's one of your better ones, I think. Some more in the last few years that you've been sending them to me, they're kind of elaborate. Some of them are quite, they've got lots of themes going on and lots of kind of statements and, but this one was kind of sweet and to the point. So, Merry Christmas if you're able. Oh, I like that. Okay. Smooth. Okay. So, I've been talking about Christmas and what Christmas I think it means to me. And I guess I'm a victim of nostalgia. Yes, I like the Christmas Story movie, and I am a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life Christmassy person. There are two types of people in the world: those who love It's a Wonderful Life and those who don't. I'm sure I've said that before in years past. But anyway, there are just those things that we kind of think of. This is Christmas, Now, I'm talking about certainly in this video, mostly just the secular kind of celebration of Christmas. We have of course, the real reason for the season, of course, is our Lord coming to earth to basically save us sinners, of who I am foremost, okay? But again, when we think about maybe our own personal family life Christmases of years gone by, all sorts of things come into mind. I remember just driving around the other day, and some of you won't understand this reference because I don't even think they make them anymore, but I remember Tinker Toys and log cabin toys. Not Legos, but they were like little log cabin things. And you could make some pretty cool things out of Tinker Toys and the log cabin toys. I just love those things. But they were made out of real wood. They probably make them out of plastic to look like wood. But they had a wonderful scent to them. You know, they smelled like the forest. They smelled like the mountains. They, you know, like here, up here in beautiful winter wonderland, okay? And I remember even kind of on the Tinker Toys, you could I would kind of chew on the ends of them. Don't ask me why. I was a dumb kid when I grew up. I'm a dumb adult now too. But anyway, they had a certain little bit of a flavor and aroma, fragrance to them, you know, again, pine wood and all that. But it's just a memory that I have of Christmas. It's that, and I always think of Tinker Toys at Christmas time. I thought they were great. I can still see them, and I can still see all the little different parts and the little, yeah, man, you can make little windmills out of them and all sorts of things. Just great. I'm sure they make them now, but it's probably not quite the same. But anyway, but they're just certain things that remind you of Christmas time. You know, pumpkin pie, of course, and my mom made a gumdrop cake. It was still the most delicious thing in the whole wide world, and I just loved those gumdrop cakes. They were just the pumpkin pies and the gumdrop cakes and the turkey. I was just thinking about that today, that turkey. Now, in the recent years, Pipe Pals, you know, I got introduced a number of years ago to, you know, prime rib for Christmas. And I never had prime rib growing up. I think the first time I had prime rib was when I got ordained, you know, it's almost, 28 years ago. And I thought, what's this? You know, what is this delicious thing that we're eating, you know? I mean, I've had pot roast before, obviously, and ribs and, you know, short ribs and things like that, but never had a prime rib until, you know, in my early 30s when I got ordained. The old Irish pastors, and this is a little Irish rectory here. It was founded by all these Irish guys, and, you know, they made it a nice home, and so I'm trying to restore that. But anyway, but I remember my very first prime rib dinner, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. I've never had this before. So Christmas time usually now is prime rib time. You gotta, you know, and it's not just the eating of the prime rib; it's the making of it. It's the cooking of it. And I found out that it's kind of an art form. Anybody out there who knows what I'm talking about knows that it is truly an art form. You just don't stick the roast in the oven and just turn it on and forget, you know, set it and forget it. It doesn't. On one level, those of you who know how to cook it know that, well, and actually it is kind of a set it and forget it, but that's a process that you have to work to. But it is an art to make a really perfect prime rib. And most people, well, I'd say there are two types of people: those who like rare prime rib and those who don't. And the problem is that those who don't think that rare means raw, and it doesn't. I've been trying to. I have a kind of like, this is my crusade to share with people that don't. Oh man, the worst thing you can have is overdone prime rib. I mean, it becomes like shoe leather. It's but when you have it perfectly pink and perfectly cooked, oh, there's nothing better. There is just nothing better. And it has to be rare. It does have to be rare, and it's just wonderful. But anyway, I kind of digress. So anyway, those are things now that, you know, are like Christmas, you know. I don't know if the Scrooge person, this very sinister looking Scrooge there, is kind of running things in the world now. Seems like it. But I went to go get some eggnog yesterday, and the guy who was in charge of the dairy, you know, he saw me look around, goes, "Can I help you?" I always hate it when people say that, you know, that you're getting on their nerves, you know. "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just looking for some eggnog." And he had some soy artificial eggnog thing. I mean, it's like, oh, no. Really? Soy eggnog? No, sorry. And then he goes, "Well, sir, they only make it seasonally. And after the first, all the dates are, you know, it's after the, you know." So I said, well, yeah, but I said, it's not even the first. And he goes, "Well, they make the batch, and it's the expiration date is what you're looking for. So all it's been sold. If we don't have any more, we're not getting any more." And it's sort of like, so lump it, buddy. So I just kind of looked at him and I said, yeah, whatever. And I just walked away. But yeah, I was disappointed because I didn't get any this year. And I don't, and to be honest with you, I normally don't drink it anymore because it's so rich. But I just kind of had a hankering. I thought I'd get a little quart of that and it'd be delicious. But nope, I have to wait till next year. But that's okay. I mean, I got this delicious raspberry chocolate coffee, which is probably 100 times better than eggnog. But that's good. So anyway, things that remind you of Christmas, things that, you're just driving around or you're, whatever it is, and all of a sudden it hits you and it brings back a flood of memories of Christmas. Well, again, believe it or not, pipe tobacco and pipes and those things are little hauntings of Christmas for me. My brother, may he rest in peace, who actually sounds like a Charles Dickens novel. He died on Christmas Eve, the morning of Christmas Eve. So, like Jacob Marley, he died on Christmas Eve. But anyway, but he would come home, and he was an inveterate pipe smoker. Yeah. And I always remembered how wonderful it was when he'd pull out his pipe and he'd pull out the package of Sale, or I think he did Bork and Riff too. I think I remember Carter Hall, a half and half. So, the aroma of a pipe, the burning briar would be filling the house with the beautiful room notes of pipe tobacco on Christmas Day. So again, I come by this honestly, some people, may be intrigued by pipe smoking, and they know it's kind of one of those kind of lost, kind of things that people really don't do that much anymore, except for a few small band of us brothers and sisters, that still enjoy a pipe, and we really do enjoy it. It's not some affectation that we're putting on. It's just who we are. So I remember those things. And so in years past, though, in recent years, one of my Christmas memories of late, in the last, say, maybe 7 or 8 years, especially since I started this little channel and got introduced to you all, and some of you sharing with your ideas of things, was a wonderful place, and I still hope they'll still be around, years from now. Boswell's in, Boswell's, hold on. I got their little address right here. It looks like Pennsylvania, yeah. Boswell's in Pennsylvania. So I was getting a hankering for Christmas cookie and some other things, and I just went online, and thanks be to God, they're still there. So Old Holy Smokin' Pie Padre about 10 days ago ordered a box from Boswell's, and it came in about 7 days ago, about a couple days before Christmas. And I have to tell you, I normally, believe it or not, I don't really open my gifts right away because I don't have time. And that might sound a little weird, but how do you say this without sounding arrogant? But you're focusing on Christmas for others, for Mass and maybe hearing late-minute confessions, or, just visiting with people who need to talk to a priest, and then setting up for all the services, even though we've been kind of on COVID kind of modified posture. We basically, modified posture, I wonder if I could, anyway, well, I was trying to make an acronym out of that, but I'll try to do that later. But anyway, so, there's just a lot of preparation to do. And plus now we're kind of expected to put on a video Christmas service in addition to doing the toned down or the limited public services. So now that's additional work. So long story coming to an end here. Basically, I don't have a whole lot sometimes my personal things and my needs, they kind of take a back seat. And one of the things I was just sharing with somebody the other day, I said, I don't like rushing through a moment like opening up gifts. I did that one year, I think, many years ago. I just kind of went through the motions, and it was one of the most emptiest things I've ever experienced. It was just like there was no joy in it. There was no happiness. It was just like another thing on my list that I had to get done. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. If that means I have to wait a couple of days after Christmas to finally open my gifts and do it with the same kind of sensitivity and respect and joy, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a few extra days. So I had one Christmas gift I finally opened yesterday, and it was a great worth the wait. Say that fast, sometimes. Worth the wait, because it brought me the chocolate raspberry coffee. It brought me a nice gift from the Hodge twins. Yeah, got a damn good show for you. Yeah, my Hodge twins, and I just in a wonderful personalized calendar that I love every year. So all that to be said is that it was worth the wait. And so my last gift of Christmas that I'm going to open today in front of you all is my box from Boswell's. So without any further ado, we're opening my Christmas box from Boswell's. Love me some Boswell's. Now I ordered mostly just pipe tobaccos and a few cigars, but Boswell's was always so nice. Okay, so, oh my goodness, look at this. This is so nice. And look what they sent me. Look at this. Isn't that great? I think this is an emergency airbag for all sorts of uses. So, these are awesome. So if you've never had an emergency little airbag, it can be used for taking one last breath if you need it. There you go. So packaged canned air. Okay. Alrighty, so what do we got here? Well, it looks like we got some Christmas cookie. How appropriate. Christmas cookie. Christmas cookie. Now these are interesting little tins. Hope that's still working there. Christmas cookie. And we got Boswell Paradise. Yeah, I think I was looking at this as maybe a substitute for tropical mix. Paradise, it's got the palm trees and everything. We'll see. Maybe it's got a tropical mix flavor. Next in the box, this might be some Northwoods. I'm hoping. And this is Northwoods. Yeah. Got me some Northwoods. All right. Had been having a hankering for Northwoods. Okay, now I got some cigars. Some Drew Estates. I think these are Java Lattes. Okay. And interesting. Okay. And then this is, they call this the Autumn Sampler. The Autumn Sampler. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying some of those out as well. So there you have it there. Some goodies from Boswell's. So pretty excited about that, let me tell you. Wonderful. Merry Christmas. Okay. Well, last thing I'm going to share with you all, a little more serious this time, even though this has been kind of hopefully more of a lighthearted video than some of my other videos in the past. This is still good. I have another YouTube channel, and sometimes every now and then you people will wonder, well, do you have like a channel where you do like preaching or, you know, more religious themes? And I do, and that's my Stevenson RF channel, real simple, Stevenson RF. And so, yeah, today I got, I think my very first censorship on one of my videos after, I'll go back to, 2008 is when I started that channel. And I think I started this channel either 2009 or 2010. Anyway, so I've had, you know, hundreds of videos on that one. And I think I've got maybe a couple hundred on this channel as well. And I've had a couple of copyright strikes, one notable, which I resolved personally. And it was, you know, somebody, you know, said, hey, you're playing my stuff on your channel and I don't appreciate it. And I think I actually talked to him on the phone. He was in Ireland, and, you know, I said, well, you're right. I did upload your video. I didn't know that it was still, that you were still, you know, even alive. I didn't quite say it that way, but this was a video made back in the 80s, and it was an instructional video on how to say the Latin Mass. And, you know, I just assumed that the guy, you know, would want, again, I don't monetize my channel, so I wasn't doing it for money. And I just thought, well, it's a reference video for me and others that want to learn. So anyway, but he didn't see it that way, and he made it very clear that he put a lot of work and money into that, and for me to put it up there so people can watch it for free was hurting him financially. So I apologized, and I even gave him a donation to his foundation that produces the video, and he was okay with that. He was like, okay, all right. It was like, okay, no harm, no foul. You know, and if you're gonna give me a contribution, then I'll feel like we're square. We're you know, I feel like I've been, you know, compensated. I went, okay, great. So I took it down, but I also gave him some money for the, you know, for the use of it, the temporary use that I had it. So anyway, long story short, that's the only real strike I've ever had on that channel. And then today, though, I got a really upsetting thing from YouTube saying that I was in violation of their terms and policies, and one of my videos was being deleted. Now, if you're a content creator like I am, and you get one of those for the first time, it's not pleasant. So I kind of, in a very terse way, quickly said, specifically tell me how I'm in violation. That's all I said. Specifically point out where I'm violating the terms. Well, anyway, they sent me another one going, well, we have reviewed it and we feel that you have clearly violated our terms, and so we're deleting your video. Again, they didn't tell me specifically. I know what the content was now, but still, in the actual video, what I did was I sandwiched or nestled in a separate video at the end of my video because I was trying to talk about Epiphany. The Epiphany is going to be this weekend. And I said, you know, Epiphany is when we have these intense realization of a truth. And I said, and for an example, I'm going to include at the end of this video, another video, which was talking about, okay, the election, okay? And I think it comes as no surprise to some of you that I believe that there was fraud. And so this other guy did a beautiful, beautiful, fascinating, I mean, exquisite job of putting together a video. It wasn't just a bunch of, you know, some of YouTube commentators and creators, they do some good jobs, but they string a lot of little news snippets back and forth, you know, together and to make their point. And, you know, a lot of those are good. There's a guy named Fleckus Talks, and he's an interesting guy who does lots of fun videos. He's, you know, and again, he's actually a very nice person. But he basically, he'll get his little camera out there taped to his soup spoon, and he'll just go out there with his, you know, and try to interview people and just ask them, you know, how do you feel about the election? How do you feel about President Trump? How do you feel about President Biden-elect or whatever? And basically, he'll just let the camera roll and people either say things that are positive or negative. And just one day he just did one about, when President Trump had the COVID, he came down with COVID, he just went out on a local street corner and said, "Hey, the president's sick. What do you think about that?" And some people would say, "Get well, Mr. President." And other people would say, "I hope he dies. F you." Just really vile, vulgar stuff. But all he does is he just asks people's opinion. But anyway, so he puts a lot of things up there, but basically his format is he just kind of puts snippets of videos that, are interesting and kind of, whoa, So I was trying to do the same thing, but I included the whole video. Anyway, but I feel like, and I know some of you are going to say, "Hey, YouTube, it's their policy. You're submitting to that every time you upload a video." And that's true on one hand, but whatever happened to free speech? Again, I wasn't saying anything derogatory or incendiary or hateful, but again, now we're getting to a point where you can't say certain things because we don't tolerate that. Well, that's not in keeping with the First Amendment, okay? Now, granted, the First Amendment doesn't say you can go into a movie theater and yell fire, and you do have responsibility. I mean, you have the, you have to also be willing to accept the consequences of your beliefs, but to have people censor them willy-nilly because they don't like your opinions is wrong. I just think it's wrong. It's like when COVID was kind of in its first couple of months, and there were these two doctors. They were in California. I think one of us was named Dr. Erickson, and I forgot what the other doctor's was. But they were coming out and saying, "Hey guys, look what's going on. We're going to tell you what we're experiencing." All they were doing is sharing their experiences and saying, "Hey, a lot of this stuff is kind of fishy. We're being asked to almost falsify these medical records to say this person, died of COVID." And one of them, I hate to say, I think was hit by a bus, literally. And they said, "But he has to die of it. But he tested positive for COVID, so he died of COVID." It's like, no, he was hit by a bus. So anyway, it's just that they were concerned that they were being forced to kind of falsify these documents and so they could show that the numbers were more than what they really were. So anyway, but they got censored. You can't find their videos now. Now I think the individual doctors have made personal videos, kind of backing up what they originally said. But it's like, wow, man, they're censoring things that they don't want to. And so that's what they do in communist countries. You can't say that. You're not allowed to think that. You're not allowed to believe that. Well, that's not the America that I grew up in, okay? So as we're getting ready to close out 2020, I have some really grave concerns for, 2021. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't get any worse, because it's already pretty bad. I'll just leave it at that for now. I'm looking at this wonderful Canadian pipe of my brother's that I had restored shortly after he passed away. And I'm noticing that it's kind of got the same, similar, not quite. Now this is an old, was this an old Dunhill? I can't remember. This might be an old Comoy. But anyway, the newer Dunhills, the sandblasting wasn't nearly as deep, okay? And you can see that. But look at this beautiful craggy Canadian. I just love this thing. So I'm looking at maybe loading up some Christmas cookie in this and celebrating Christmas and Epiphany and the Feast of Mary, the Mother of God, which is the day after tomorrow. And, still celebrating this wonderful Christmas season. So thank you all for being patient with me and spending some time with me. It's always good to say hello to all the folks out there that I know and love out there in YouTube Pipeland. And I hope you're all happy, healthy, and getting ready to celebrate 2021. Okay, so until then, dear friends, light up your world, light up your pipe. We'll see you in the next one in the new year. See ya. Now, how do I turn this thing off? Okay.